Okay guys, welcome back to episode 17 I think it is of our Space Hopper game. Today we're going to carry on working with our leaderboard. We are going to, let's have a look and see. We are going to start creating a separate class for our leaderboard entries to hold the score and our username for the player. Then we are also going to try and populate the list with a couple of dummy scores and names for now, just so we can get it working. And then what else are we going to do? We are going to we're also going to fix the ranking of the leaderboard, because if we jump into here quick and we have a look, if we press play, where's my play button? Okay, I need to restart this quick because I have no play button. So that's pretty much what we're going to be working on today. I don't know if we'll get through all of it, but we'll try. But for now, let me go and open up our game quick. So we should be able to get through it. I'm not too sure. Okay, so here's our play button. So let's play the game and see where we get. Okay, so as you can see, this is our game and this is our current leaderboard. Ignore the name and the what's called the score. We're going to start working on the rank now. So as you can see, they're all first. It's not what we want. We want it to be first, second, third, fourth, and all the way down to the last one, whichever that is. I think it's 13th. So that's what we're going to work on currently at the moment. So let us we'll go out of gameplay mode and dive straight into our script. So to do that, let's go into our wake method in our leaderboard class. And in our for loop here, we want to change the rank. So we need to get a reference to where we are in the rank. So let's go and say int. We're going to keep this as an integer for now because it's going to be a number, an integer. So it makes sense to make it an integer. It will always be a whole number. So let's say int rank is equal to, what is it going to be equal to? It is going to be equal to, we've got a reference of I, which kind of represents what position we are in, but it represents the current position minus 1 because it starts at 0 and goes up to 12. So to fix that, all we have to say is I plus 1. So that's going to represent our rank. So whatever our I is that we use in the for loop is just going to be 1 plus 1, if that makes sense. Can we add 1 to that? Okay, then we want to make a string. So string, and this is going to hold the end of our rank. So if you see here we've got first. We don't only have the number, but we also have the ending, which is st, and then second will be nd, and third will be rd, and then I think the rest will be th. So that is what our rank. Let's say rank ending for now. Rank ending is going to be. So we're going to keep that like that. We won't initialize it yet, because we'll do that in a switch statement. So let's go and say switch rank. So our default one is going to be the th, because I think it's only the first 3 that are going to be different. So first, second, and third will be different to each other, and then the rest will all be th's. So our default one, we will set that to, where is it? Rank ending is going to be equal to rank. What is it going to be? Plus th. That. We'll break after that, and then we want to do case 1, and then this is going to be rank, or rank ending rather, rank ending. That's going to be equal to rank plus, what am I doing here? So case 1, rank ending here is equal to rank plus Actually, no, I'm doing this wrong. So if the first case is going to be rank is equal to first. We don't need the rank because we're only going to be using the first one. So rank first, like that, and then we'll add a note break. And the same for case 2. We'll change that and we'll say this is going to be equal to second. And we'll do the same. We can just copy and paste that and put case 3 is going to be equal to third. So that should sort out our rank problems. So now let's go and see if this works. So how do we want to do this? Now, at the moment we are simply adding the first one, or this only entry in 13 or 12 times, or however many it is. I think it's 13. So what we want to do is we want to have a look at our schedule and see. So correct the ranking. So we're working on that. Okay, so there's not much info in there. Okay, so let's do this. Let us go and say, how do you want to do this when you think about this? Okay, so actually we'll leave, I think that will work. So let's go ahead and start working on the other stuff, and then when we start populating our lists, it should show up. So for now we'll jump into start creating our high score class. So create a high score entry class. So here that is going to be, so underneath this class we will create a new one, and we'll call this public high score entry. This is going to be, in here we are going to keep our string name and our int score, just like this. Okay, so that is going to house our name and our string and our score. So whenever we save a new high score, we will call this class and create a new entry, and we'll save the name and the score in their respective fields here, or variables, whatever you call it. So what we want to do next is we need to create, where's my reference here? This one, no, this one, nope, this one, nope, got that one open, this one, nope. Okay, let me just find my picture quick. Let me go to the internet. Okay, so here it is. So we want to just grab this picture quick. So that is going to be over here. Cool. So now if we jump back into our script here, we can go ahead and create another method that will create our entry whenever we call it. So let's go and do that. So let's say private void create high score entry transform. So this is going to take a few parameters, and those will be, where are they? We've done that. So our parameters are going to be a high score entry, a container, and a transform list. So our high score entry is obviously going to be the name and the score. Our container is going to be the container that houses all of our list or our entries, and our transform list is going to be the list of the entries. So that's what we're going to pass into here. So here I am just going to copy and paste that because there's no need to retype it. So just paste that in there, and we need to make sure that this is the same as this, like that. So high score entry. The next one I said was a container, I think, so transform container. And then the next one is going to be a transform list. So this is going to be a list of type transform, and for this we will call it did we call it transform list? Yes, we did. So transform list like that. Cool. So okay, why is that like that? That's supposed to be a list. Okay, so clearly we need to import this. Show potential fixes. We'll do that one. So that should disappear now. Cool. Not using that, so I'll delete that. So in here, what we want to do now is we actually hold on. I have done this completely wrong, I think. Let me just double check. I should probably be more prepared next time, hey? Let me just double check quick. No, so that's correct. I'm just confused. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to go and replace all of this stuff in our wake method and move it down into our create high score entry transform method. So let's go and do that. So to do that, first of all, you know what, let's just copy and paste all of this. So let's go and say everything that's inside of our for statement, we will, for for loop, go and cut it and paste it inside over here. We need to make some changes here because we will no longer have our I, and we will no longer have, actually we do have a container because it's named the same thing, that's lucky. What else do we need to do? We also need to change these values over here. So for our I, because we don't have reference to that, we can simply go and say transform list.count. So that will give us our our index kind of. And then the same thing over here, we need to replace I with transform list.count plus 1, because that will still start at 0, because lists always start at 0. Okay, so that should be fine. So I'm going to get rid of these here quick. I'm going to cut them out. And then underneath our switch statement here, we are going to paste them in there. And then over here, we are going to replace this first with our rank. Rank ending rather. Rank ending. So that's going to replace our rank with, instead of it always being first, it's going to be first, second, third, and so on. And then for our name, we want to go and get this from our high score entry. So here we can say high score entry dot name. Works, high score entry dot name. That doesn't work clearly. Why does that not work? Okay, so here we need to say public, and here we also need to say public. Cool. So high score entry dot name, and then the same thing for our score. We need to say high score entry dot score. So that should populate our. And we need to change this to a string, so dot score dot to string, because obviously integer is not a string, and you cannot in our brackets you can't add an integer as a text. You have to convert it to a string. So that should be fine. So let's see. Then what we want to do is we want to go and say transform list dot add. And then here we want to say entry transform. So that is going to add our entry transform to our transform list, which is what we want. So that should be fine. although I'm not quite sure if this is going to work straight away, so I'm going to save this, and then I am going to just go and play the game and see what happens. So let's play the game, and nothing is going to appear in our leaderboard. That's correct, because we don't actually have anything and we're not really calling this method, so that is a problem. So we need to go and do that now. So let's go back to our, first of all let's check how much, what's our time. So 15 minutes, okay. So over here, let's go and tick some things off. So we've done our parameters, we've set that, and that. Replace the code from, we've done that. Replace entry container, done that. Add transform list, get the score, got the name. Create a high score entry list, create a high score entry transform list. We create some, okay, so let's go ahead and create some random scores now. So back in our code, we are going to populate our scoreboard or leaderboard, whatever it's called, with a few dummy values for now. So let's just manually type this. So this may take a while, although we won't add too many. We'll add 4 at the most, just so that we can, so that we can see that the ranking system actually works. So before I do that, I'm going to pull something up here quick. So this should not take long. If we jump into our code here, let us go and start. Where's my reference? So in here, not that one, this one. Okay, so in here we want to create a list, or create 2 lists rather. What am I doing? Okay, so here we want to create a private list, and that's going to be a list of high score entries. It's going to house all of our entries. That we will call it high score entries. Yeah, entries. Like that. And then we'll create another one, private. This is going to be a list, and here we are going to call, or this is going to be a type. This needs to be a capital letter, so it houses our high score entry. High score entry. Well, this needs to be a capital letter. That's why. This we will also change that so it matches. Okay, that should be fine. Cool. So here in this one, this is going to be a list of transform. So this is going to be called high score entry transform list. If I can spell properly, list. Like that. So hopefully that works. So now let us go and create some data to add into our list. So to do that, we're going to manually write these out quickly. I'm just going to add in 4 just to make this a bit quicker. You could add in as many as you want, but over time when we get this working with our actual game and inputting our text, our name into the actual game and saving it, it will populate automatically. But for now, just to make sure it works, let's go ahead and try this out. So let's go and say high score entries is equal to new, what is it, list of high score entry. Okay, so in here, this is where we are going to create our new, or this is we're going to add in some new high scores. So new high score entry, and then we'll say score is equal to 100. Just something simple, and then name is equal to, we'll put my name, and then we will simply copy and paste that 3 times or 4 times, and then we will change the score. So score 100, we'll say 300, 500, and 600. For the name, we'll go Max, and then here we'll go Kate, and then here we'll go Gabs. Okay, so and then we will have to add these to our list somehow. So to do that, we are going to create another list, and we are going to use our high score entry transform list and create a new list of transforms, so we can add these into there. So now we've created a new list of transforms. We can go ahead and create a new high score entry transform using our method that we've just created over here. And to do that, we need to go through this high score entries list of these 4 entries here that we've just created, go through them each individually and add them into our transform list over here that we just created. So there's a lot of lists. I know it's kind of confusing, but hopefully by the end of this couple of lines of code it will work perfectly fine. So this is where we are going to bring back our for loop. So let us go and do that. So here, let's go and bring back our for loop. So let's try and say for each, what are we going to say? High score entry, and that is going to be called high score entry in high score entries, I think it is. So for each of those, each 4 of these, we want to go and call our create transform method, and in here we can say high score entry. The container will be the entry container, but we have not found that yet, so let's go and do this. For now we will say entry container, so let's go and say entry container like that. And then what's next? Our transform list. So here we want to pass in our list that we've just initialized over here, so we'll copy and paste that into there like that. Cool, so that should be fine. So the only thing we need to do now is go and create or find our entry container. So we'll do that at the very beginning after we set this to be, well actually let's do that first. So here we'll go, we're going to say entry container is equal to transform.find, and here we need to find it with the name of, let's look in our hierarchy and see, make sure we are in our canvas or in our right leaderboard. Yeah, so here it is. So our container is called container. Okay, so we'll find it with the name container like that. I think that's the right one, so we'll do that. So that's going to set that equal to that. So but now we need to create a reference to it up here. We already have one, so I think we will use that one by simply taking the entry and just using container. So we will type that. Actually, I don't think we need to find it, because I think because it's a serialized field, we are actually dragging it into our inspector. So let's go and save that and see if this works. So let's go and play our game and see what happens. So we probably will get a few errors, which we don't, surprisingly, and that actually works really well. So as you can see here, we have our first, second, third, and fourth ranking system working. Forget about the scores for now, we haven't really organized them in order yet. We'll do that in the next episode. But I think as long as that is working, that is pretty much it for today's episode. I must be honest, that went a lot smoother than I thought it would go. Let's just have a look and see. Okay, so we've got a high score entry. I'm just going to add a few more and see if the ranking works. So let's go and add these. I'm just going to forget about the name. We'll leave the name for now, and we will just test and see if this works. So we'll add some commas there. Okay, we'll save that. Let's jump back into here and see if the ranking works. So you should get first, second, third, and first, second, third, and then fourth onwards should all have TH afterwards. So let's see. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Okay, so that's working perfectly fine. Very nice. A lot smoother and a lot quicker than I thought it would be. So I think that's it for today's episode again. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it, and I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am. Hopefully we can get back to our slab stacker game soon. I still haven't figured out that stupid bug that causes our slab to just break every time we press the button. But I'll try and figure that out quick so that we can continue that game, because that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for this episode, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.